Nation Part 2, the National Quiz. The biggest ever live interactive general knowledge test. Time to find out the answers and just how much we all know. Please welcome back our hosts, Anne Robinson and Philip Schofield.
Wonderful atmosphere here, and it's time for Test the Nation Part 2. The answers coming up shortly. But, Philip, we have had an amazing response.
Yes, incredible. It looks as though Test the Nation has broken new ground tonight, with 25,200 people texting their answers for the first time, and 75,500 playing online. And, of course, because the test stays online, that number can only increase. So, well done.
And we'll know shortly the person who scored the highest taking the test online. I hope it's a woman. Whoever it is, I'll be chatting to them before the end of the evening.
So I've been watching the faces of our groups, anxiously waiting to find out how they got on. We'll give them some more encouragement in a moment. This programme is nothing if not totally interactive. Thank you for your emails. Tell Mr Schofield, says Paul Whiteside, my wife can lick her own elbow. Happily married for a number of years. Throw that down there. And also we've Ed Rawston says, I have a friend who can lick both his elbows at once. That's extraordinary. To be in a circus. He's called Bernard McGregor from Hereford. Well done, Bernard. Now then, let's meet the rest of our groups now. They can hold a steady nerve and balance a stiff drink at 30,000 feet that has their nerve held tonight. It's the cabin crew! Team of make enough noise as we've seen here tonight, but can they prove their worth in other fields? The football supporter! Those that keep everything ticking over at home, but can they prove their worth here tonight? Our beautiful domestic goddesses! They know how the pipes fit together. In fact, some of them take photographs of them. Will they flood us with their knowledge tonight? It's the plumbers! They have the gift of the gab when it comes to selling you a home, but will that be enough to bring them out on top? They are our estate agents. They appear to have superior knowledge when they're testing us, but how much do they know when we test them? Our examiners! And of course they have all the glamour and the brains. How will they fare tonight? They are our celebrities!
It's interesting to see how people react when they're up against it, taking part in a quiz.
Good evening. What is your name?
Mind your own damn business.
Help! For God's sake, somebody help!
It's only a bloody game.
Yeah, like being married to him. Trivial Pursuits.
So, one other question. Name the Cuban leader who's been in power since the revolution of 1959.
Fidel Castro.
Yeah, you know it now, yeah? Well, what did you say
well,
then?
It's a quiz situation.
No, tell them.
It's a quiz situation.
What did you say then? What did you say then?
Fray Bentos.
I'm completely bloody sick of this!
We always have to take our hats off to our celebs here in the studio because you don't have to be here. You stuck your necks out on the line. We'll give you scores if you want us to a little bit later on. But Darren, you were saying earlier on that your son looks like he's going to be a particularly fast runner, but you're really quite competitive with him, aren't you?
Yeah, very competitive. We went down to the local stadium a few weeks ago and I raced him and I beat him and I went, yes! He's only 4. And I put up my hand and I was going, yes, yes! So a little while after that, he goes, he wanted another race, but he didn't want to race me. He wanted to race his mum.
I wonder why.
So I said, oh, why don't you want to race me? He goes, oh, last time you beat me. And it's just the way he is.
And you reckon he's got a big future, do you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He went to his sports day, and he came first in two things, and second in the other, and he was really upset, really disappointed, and you know, it seems like I'm breeding a little monster there.
I think humility is also good in a sportsman, though, isn't it?
Oh,
Probably.
yes,
just
definitely.
a little bit. Clarissa, you were quite competitive at school, weren't you?
Yes, I was very competitive. I remain competitive. Humility is good in a cook, but not in anything else, really.
What about your mother? Didn't your mother give you advice with boyfriends?
Yes. There was the boy next door who used to come over the wall and play cricket with me. Christopher. He proposed to me with a ring from a Christmas cracker when we were 5. A very expensive cracker. Best offer I had, you know. I always beat him at cricket. And my mother said, Teresa, if you want to get on with boys, you have to let them win sometimes.
Did you listen to her?
I'm single.
Thanks, celebs. Anne.
Now, Jane, is it true that men are more competitive than women?
Well, Annie, how competitive are you?
Oh, well, I'm fantastically, pathetically competitive about everything. Table tennis, cookery, television, anything I'm competitive about.
I absolutely knew you'd say that. Most women are much more reserved, but I'm like you. I think it's down to the red hair.
Is it?
Absolutely.
But, perhaps whether you have brothers or
It might be down to sibling rivalry, possibly, but my money's still on the red hair.
Colin, what are we going to find out about ourselves at the end of tonight?
Right, well, because we've toted this test around the country and tested it on a random sample of people, we actually know the average score in the country. So what we're going to do in a few minutes is to allow everybody at home to work out something they call their quiz quotient, which will show how intelligent they are, or how good they are at the general knowledge, compared with the national norm.
OK. Now, you nearly said intelligent. Do you think there's a difference?
Yes, I'm saying intelligent people tend to know more facts, but they're not the same thing.
OK, thanks, Colin. So, this is what we've been waiting for. We're on to the answers to the national quiz. Remember, you score 1 point for a correct answer, 0, obviously, for a wrong answer. The first section was everyday life. Question 1. We asked what was on the back of the current 50p piece. And the answer is A, Britannia, although obviously she'll be out of a job if we ever take up the euro. Question 2. What does the E in PAYE stand for? Well, PAYE stands for pay as you earn, so the answer is B, earn. Question 3. Which daily newspaper has the highest circulation in Britain? The answer is C, The Sun, and I bet the plumbers all knew the answer. And I bet I know which page they turned to first. OK. Question 4. Traditionally, how should you end a letter that begins, Dear Sir? The answer is B, yours faithfully, because traditionally, if you don't know the recipient's name, it would be a bit forward to put love and kisses. Did you get that, cabin crew? Yes. Question 5. According to modern rules, which wedding anniversary are you celebrating if someone gives you an appliance? The answer is B. It's your 4th wedding anniversary. There's a lot of murmuring going on. That's according to modern rules. I think I'd want a divorce if I got an appliance for any wedding anniversary. Did you know that, domestic goddesses? No, I didn't think they were sure on that. We're still on everyday life. The next 5 questions deal with ideas and beliefs. Question 6. When do we eat these? Well, the picture is of pancakes being made, and in the Christian religion, they're eaten on Shrove Tuesday, so the answer is A. Traditionally, by the way, they were a good way of using up eggs and fats before the start of the Lenten fast. I'm sure football supporters, you knew that, didn't you? I bet you did. Question 7. This is a place of worship for which faith? The photo is of a mosque, the place of worship for followers of Islam, so the correct answer is D. Yes? Good. All happy, plumbers? Yeah? Oh, good. Estate agents? Oh, dear. Everyone will be very disappointed the estate agents are happy. Question 8. What does feng shui symbol mean? The answer is A, harmony and balance. It is called yin and yang. Now, yin characterises the feminine or negative side of nature, and yang characterises the masculine or positive. I've no idea why they're clapping, but I can tell you that, you know, the estate agents are very unpopular tonight, but as a matter of interest, the estate agents don't like the football supporters. Cabin crew, you don't like the estate agents, do you? No. Question 9. This object is a symbol of which religion? The answer is D. This is called a menorah. It's used in Judaism to celebrate Hanukkah. Question 10. What star sign does this animal represent? The answer B. In astrology, the goat represents Capricorn. Oh, a lot of murmuring here. And if you're born under this star sign, you're supposed to be industrious, efficient, organised and patient. And the goat should not be confused with the ram for Aries. Now, I know Philip is Aries, aren't you?
Yeah, and when I took the test, I confused it. I got goat and ram mixed up, unfortunately. Did you do that as well? Yeah, I know, nightmare. Apparently, it means that I should be full of intuitive, bold, sometimes impatient characteristics, but with a... It's true, but with a fiery nature that sometimes makes me irresistible, apparently. So, Ed, you're also an Aries, aren't you?
Yeah, how did you know that? I went for the... But I just couldn't tell if it was a goat or a ram, but I went for Capricorn, the goat.
Did you get it right? You got it right?
I did, I got that one right.
And would you say that those just the one, did you get those, get the characteristics? I mean, do you think that sums you up?
That I'm impatient, or that I don't say that? Well, you just
fiery
got on the show,
character?
for God's sake! I wouldn't have said, oh, impatient, what, me? No!
Do you read your star signs?
No, I'm not a big horoscope fan at all. I think that whole astrology thing is just nonsense, but then us Aries are all like that, you know?
What about, what about Sally? Do you read your star signs?
Oh, yeah, I'll read them all and see which one I like.
What did it say? What did it say this morning about yours? Did it say you were going to come onto a TV show and do incredibly well?
And incredibly, just amaze everyone with your intelligence.
Well, hopefully you'll do that, Anne.
Thanks. OK, the next 5 questions are on home and family. Question 11. On the internet, what are Lycos and Google? The answer is B, search engines that help you look up information on the web. Question 12. What is traditionally regarded as the main meat ingredient of shepherd's pie? Did you know this, plumbers? That's very clever. What's that noise you're making? Oh, I bet the domestic goddesses knew that one, didn't you? Yes, exactly. The answer B, lamb, not to be confused with cottage pie, which traditionally contains beef. Clarissa, as our resident cook tonight, have you got any tips on making shepherd's pie?
Yes, what you must do is make some sort of white sauce, preferably with porter or something like that through it, and just mix the meat into it. Otherwise, it goes too loose when you put the potato on top and bake it in the oven.
Oh, good. That's very helpful. Have you got that, plumbers? Will that be useful for you, estate agents? Good. OK. Question 13. The BCG vaccination is used to inoculate against which infection? The answer is A, tuberculosis. And you might like to know that BCG stands for Bacillus Vaccine and Calmette-Guerin, after the 2 French scientists who developed it. I bet you knew that, domestic goddesses, didn't you? Very bright domestic goddesses. Question 14. Which of these would you be least likely to find in a toolbox? Did you know this, football supporters? I bet the plumbers knew this, didn't they? How about the smug old examiners? Did you know? Oh, God, they're so pleased with themselves. The answer is B, a gridiron, which is used for grilling food over a fire. All the others are tools. Question 15. What is the equivalent of gas Mark 6? This is the one I thought the estate agents would get, but did you get it, examiners? Yes. Cabin crew? Yes. Really, you have gas Mark 6, do you? The equivalent in centigrade is 200, so the answer is C. OK, domestic goddesses, I hope you're doing well so far. Yes. Thumbs up. Very beautiful. Philip.
Let's find out how our domestic goddesses are doing. In fact, let's find out how everyone is doing as we take our first look at the leaderboard this evening. And we can see that in bottom place we have the plumbers at 69%. Above them with the estate agents at 71%. Oh, a studio thrilled. We have above them the celebrities at 72%. To say, I thought they'd have been a little higher than that. Above them we have the cabin crew at 74%. Very early leaderboard, of course. The domestic goddesses at 75, sharing that with the football supporters, which means that in top place we have our examiners, 79%. So let's go to our examiners over here and find out. So obviously, smug group.
Oh, never, no, not us.
Happy with your result?
Ever so, yes.
Do you think you're contributing to this result?
We're doing our best.
What about
in
you
this corner.
personally?
Yes, I'm trying hard.
Yeah, thrilled?
Oh, thrilled, yeah.
What do you examine?
I examine singing and dancing and speech and drama.
Any of that help with you?
Absolutely
Not at all.
nothing.
No. It's funny, actually, because there's one lady over in our domestic goddesses over here. I would have to pick the one which run the longest, but here we go. She's called Gillian Churn, and Gillian says that she, as a domestic goddess, actually, you encompass all of the characteristics of the people in our studio today, don't you?
Yeah, because just like all of us goddesses here, I'm an estate agent. So... Because when the children go to sleep out, I decide which house they're going to move into. I'm also a plumber, so when the children are crying, I'm there to dry up the waterworks. I'm also a football supporter. I'm there to support my children playing football. I'm also a cabin crew, because I'm there to help them on the plane and see to them. And I'm also an examiner when I help them with the homework.
And, of course, to them, you're also a celebrity.
Oh, yes, of course.
And even more so when I tell you that you got 11 out of 15 so far.
Oh, very good.
Happy with that?
I am.
Well done, Gillian. Well done, domestic goddesses.
OK. Section 2, which was past times. Now, this was down memory lane, and the first 5 were on famous faces. Question 16, where did this rock and roll star live? The picture is of Elvis Presley. His home was Graceland, so the answer is D. It's still a shrine 25 years after his death, and last year 750,000 tourists went there. Question 17, which play wasn't penned by this writer? Did you all recognise this picture, estate agents? Yes. Extra bright estate agents. The picture is of William Shakespeare. He wrote all the plays except Edward II, which... Oh, goody goods. Which was by... Oh, a cabin crew. They don't waste their time on the beach, do you? They know it was by Christopher Marlowe, so the answer is D. Question 18. What's this scientist's claim to fame? It's Albert Einstein, looking a bit odd. Nevertheless, he did come up with the theory of relativity. And in a sentence, Cooperman, give us the theory of relativity.
I think it's that clocks do funny things when you move them very fast.
He's very cool, Cooperman. Wasn't that good? Question 19. This is a self-portrait of Rembrandt, so the answer is A. He apparently sketched or painted himself when he didn't have a model, which is why there are more than 40 Rembrandt self-portraits around. OK? Question 20. The football supporters are very quiet at this time. What was this historical figure known as? Did you know the answer, Lawrence?
The Maid of Orleans.
Yeah, very good. The picture is of Joan of Arc, who fought for France against the English in the 15th century and ended up being burnt at the stake. And as Lawrence says, she was also known as the Maid of Orleans. So the answer is C. And Orleans was the place she liberated from the English. It's gone very, very quiet in here. Now, 5 questions on the 20th century. A clip with each.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
OK, who spoke those historic words? The answer is C, Neil Armstrong. He became the first man to walk on the moon on July the 20th, 1969, and almost 1 billion people listened live to that broadcast. Question 22.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
OK, who was the independent prosecutor who uncovered evidence of the Clinton-Lewinsky affair, which Bill Clinton was denying there? The answer is B. The prosecutor in the case was Kenneth W. Starr. And, of course, President Clinton eventually admitted the affair, sort of. Ed, did you believe him at the time?
No, I just love the way he said it, because if that wasn't sexual relations, then there's a few prostitutes owe me my money back.
Question 23. At her wedding, what did the Princess of Wales stumble over? The answer is C. Diana got Charles's name in the wrong order.
I, Diana Francis,
I, Diana Francis,
take thee, Charles Philip Arthur George,
take thee, Philip Charles Arthur George,
to my wedded husband.
to my wedded husband.
Well, he does have rather a lot of them, doesn't he? Nothing to you, Clarissa. I understand you've got far more.
I've got 11.
Really? Can you reel them off to us?
I'm sitting comfortably. Clarissa, Teresa, Philomena, Aileen, Mary, Josephine, Agnes, Elsie, Trilby, Louise, Esmeralda. Esmeralda was my father's pet pig. I was born in the Chinese year of the pig. But to get Clarissa, they argued and argued and argued about what my first name was going to be, and finally they blindfolded my mother and turned her loose in the library. And fortunately, she pulled out Richardson's Clarissa, because it was a folio version which stood on the shelves next to the Encyclopedia Britannica.
So that's what you could have been called.
Britannica Dixon Wright, that would have done.
Question 24.
Earlier on today, apparently, a woman rang the BBC and said she heard that there was a hurricane on the way. Well, if you're watching, don't worry, there isn't.
What year was that? The year was 1987, and that's B, how Michael Fish and his team got it wrong. Because it turned out to be the worst storm this country has seen in 300 years. It changed parts of our landscape, and there was devastation everywhere. Okay. Question 25.
Where there is doubt, may we bring faith, and where there is despair, may we bring hope.
Who was Margaret Thatcher quoting outside number 10 after her election victory in 1979? The answer is B. It's a prayer attributed to St. Francis of Assisi, and according to Mrs. T's memoirs, her choice of words attracted, as she put it, a good deal of sarcasm. Not that it bothered her unduly. Darren, do you like a strong woman?
Ah, definitely. Just like you, Anne.
Thank you. And how about Mrs. T?
Very strong lady, very
Really?
strong-minded.
But you must have been a very small boy when she was in power, weren't you?
Yeah, I don't really remember, but I just know she was a strong-minded woman.
Oh, right. Josie, Mrs. T, your sort of woman?
Only that she's a strong woman who got what she wanted. I mean, I think I'd disagree with her politics, given that I veer towards the left. And I think because of her, I didn't get any milk at school, I believe.
Thatcher.
I don't suppose it's done you any harm. You're looking very beautiful tonight.
Thank you very much.
Lawrence, you a bit keen on Mrs. T?
I couldn't finish a whole one, I mean, obviously.
Thank you. Still on past times, taking us through the ages. Question 26. Now, we asked what civilization do these images come from? From left to right, the images are Julius Caesar, the Colosseum in Rome, and a couple of gladiators. So the answer is A, ancient Rome. I don't think the plumbers did frightfully well there, did you? Yes. They just say they did. Question 27. Now, these images are from which period? On the left, Andy Warhol's pop art picture of Marilyn Monroe, the pop group The Doors, and a Flower Power VW hippie camper. So the answer is C, the 60s. Lawrence, would you call yourself a child of the 60s?
Well, I was born in 1965, so yeah, so that's where I started from.
A baby of the 60s, in fact. Have you been influenced by the 60s?
I think I've been more influenced by the 1760s.
And where does the hairstyle come from?
The 1760s, definitely.
Is it? It's got a bit more flicky, a bit more Carol Smiley, perhaps.
Well, I think it's more Camilla Parker Bowles in the right light.
Is that who you're copying now?
Kind of that with a sort of a Pitt the Younger fusion.
Oh, OK. Question 28. These buildings are from which period? Left to right, there's Chepstow Castle. Now, that was built in the 11th century. There's Caerphilly Castle, built in the 13th century, and the Tower of London's White Tower, and that was built in the 11th century. They're all Norman, in fact, so the answer is A. Isn't it, cabin crew?
Yes.
Question 29. These images are from which decade? Again, from left to right. A 1925 Mercedes sports car, a flapper girl, and actor Rudolph Valentino in The Son of the Sheikh. All hot stuff in the 1920s, so the answer is C. Question 30. What period do these images come from? The pictures are of St Paul's Cathedral, and that was finished. I'm sure football supporters knew this. It was finished in 1710, wasn't it, football supporters? Oh, yes. The Great Fire of London, that was 1666, and Charles I, who was on the throne, wasn't he domestic goddesses from 1625 to 1649? Yes. Therefore, they all fall into the period 1603 to 1730, don't they, plumbers? Of course. Which was the time of the Stuarts, which is the answer C, naturally. Good questions for you, cabin crew? Yeah. Richard, where's Richard?
I'm here.
Now, do you soak up culture easily?
I do. I soak up the culture, read Shakespeare on the beach, like we discovered earlier. Visit places like Alcatraz, San Francisco, the Taj Mahal in India, places like this, as well as soaking up the sun and, of course, the sand and the sea.
Which place have you been to more than anywhere else?
New York.
New York. Is that your favourite place?
It's one of my favourite places. I do enjoy New York, yes.
And what do you soak up there, Richard?
That would be telling probably on live television, but no, I'm only joking. Just
well,
a few...
I'll tell you, we'll get you out of that embarrassment. Would you like to know your score?
Ooh. Is it horrendous?
You've done fantastically well.
Honestly, you're not just saying that.
No.
Don't do a weakest link on me right now.
No, I'll tell you. No, I'm not allowed to do it. I'm not allowed to be rude tonight. It's part of my deal.
You can't be rude to me anyway, because I love you. So
no, I know you do. You watch The Weakest Link.
Did they tell you?
Yes. We've got to get on with it, she says in my ear.
Oh, sorry,
25 out of 30.
Oh.
That's a reasonable score. Now, in the history section, apparently the men did better than the women. Let's... Leslie's not happy with that. He's grumbling. Leslie, are you unhappy with that?
No, it's because we're older.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
OK,
that
then.
went straight over his head, look.
It did. Let's have a look at our leaderboard now and see whether or not that has changed. The bottom, estate agents now slipped 67%. They're on the bottom. 68% for the plumbers. Up there, after the plumbers, with the cabin crew at 71%. We were thinking they might be a little better read, but there you go. Above that, with the celebrities at 72. With the footballers, football supporters 72% sharing with the celebrities. That's something we didn't think would happen. We've also got the domestic goddesses at 74%, doing extremely well. And above them, we have our examiners at 81%. Let's get have a quick word with our football supporters over here, who are doing extremely well. What is it, guys? How come? I mean, what's your secret?
I think the secret of the examiners is they must have had the answers. They must have had the answers. And then they still can't get 100%.
But there's always mistakes when they come to give them out anyway, when it comes to examiners.
That's why they've dropped 19%.
And what about the rest of you? All happy with your results so far?
Yeah, doing all right, yeah.
Yeah? Think you're going to win?
Yeah.
Yeah? How well do you think you've done personally?
I think I've got about 20.
Out of the whole thing? Out of 70?
Oh, no, out of 30 so far.
OK, all right. Just for a minute then, right, let's continue, Anne.
Thank you. I'm very, very proud of the domestic goddesses. Well done. Great. Terrific. We're on to section 3, which is arts and entertainment. Now, we're starting with 5 questions that come under the heading Fun and Games. And question 31 was, in which game can a pawn become a queen? Then why cabin crew always laugh? The answer is A. In chess, a pawn can become a queen when it gets to the other side of the board. Question 32. What sport is normally associated with the haka? Now, the answer is A. Rugby. And here is the haka in action. It's the Maori dance, war dance, traditionally performed at the start of a rugby match by the New Zealand team. Football supporters, is that the sort of thing you do before a game, or are you in the pub? Very nice, that. OK, question 33. Which of these isn't a character in Cluedo? The answer is C, Captain Peacock. Now, there is a character called Mrs. Peacock. Captain Peacock, however, is from the sitcom Are You Being Served?
Leslie played Colonel Mustard, didn't you?
I certainly did, yes. A series for Granada, yeah, a series of Cluedo.
And so did you get that question right?
Yes, I did.
Because I did notice that you looked at the hacker and went, oh, that hacker.
Yeah, no, I was... if I'd have seen those New Zealand guys doing their stuff, I would have known what it was. But when you see it on their hacker, you get confused.
It didn't ring a bell.
Yeah, and Mrs. Peacock, actually, in the Cluedo I did, was the lovely Joanna Lumley.
Ah, and she make a fine
Yeah,
Mrs.
and
Peacock.
Jerry Hall was Miss Scarlet.
Lawrence, what would you play? If you were going to play a Cluedo part, what would it be?
I'd probably play one of the blunt instruments.
Bit of lead piping.
Yeah, why not? I'm built for it.
Oh, my God. Moving on, Anne.
OK, question 34. Which football team is known as the Toffees? The answer is B, Everton. Have we got any Everton supporters there? Oh, just one. Got Liverpool supporters, though, haven't we? Yes. Apparently, the name originates from a toffee shop called Omar Noblets, which was round the corner from Everton's ground at Goodison Park. Question 35. Which annual British sporting event takes place over a course of 4 miles, 374 yards? It's the boat race, answer D. That's the annual race between Oxford and Cambridge University, and it runs on the Thames between Putney and Mortlake. And next year will be the 150th boat race. Now, we're at the halfway point. Are you feeling good about it, estate agents? Thumbs up? How about the plumbers? The domestic goddesses? The examiners? Cabin crew? Football supporters? They're all very confident. OK, now the 5 questions on popular culture. Question 36.
Boromir, give the ring to Frodo.
OK, where were the Lord of the Rings films shot? The answer is B, New Zealand. The clip you've just seen was from the first film, The Fellowship of the Ring, which was part of Peter Jackson's trilogy, because director Jackson is a New Zealander, and he's actually done wonders for his country's tourism. Question 37.
No more today! You've had enough! Oh, my God, you've had enough! Look!
Thank you, Manuel. Thank you. That's enough. Thank you. Anything else we can do for you?
Manuel came from which Spanish city? The answer is, of course, C. Here's confirmation.
Ready? What's been going on in here? Well, we tried rearranging the furniture, but it didn't really work. Manuel has your coats. It's all right, he's from Barcelona.
Question 38. That's got the cabin crew going. 2 members of ABBA went on to produce which hit musical? The answer is B. ABBA's Benny and Bjorn composed and produced the original Broadway production of Mamma Mia, which features lots of their hits, including the song Waterloo, and there are actually still 12 productions running across the world. Question 39.
Right, you two. Right, come on. Just pick up that lot there. Pick them up. Get him inside. Come on, get him inside. It's all very well you saying pick them up. You can pick them up, but you can't put them down because they're all sticky.
Which of these wasn't a Womble? The answer is C. Pootle. He was one of the Flumps. Domestic goddesses, did you get that? Yes! Good, good. Plumbers, did you get that? Yes! Not sure they did. Question 40.
Oi! Hey, what's the matter? Get him back. Oh, take care, son. Hey? You're far. Look at my shirt. Look at my bleeding shirt.
When was the first episode of EastEnders shown? Well, that clip went out at 7 o'clock on the 19th of February 1985. A bit disappointing that. The answer is D. Leslie, that was 18 years ago. You were the first person on screen, weren't you?
Yeah.
Can you remember what you...
wrong.
And you said you uttered the first lines?
Yes, I did.
Which were?
Of course, Dictionary, doesn't it?
Oh, well done. That's very good. Did you ever imagine EastEnders lasting so long?
No, because we actually sat down. We had to watch it at Elstree, and we watched the episode going out on television, and everyone was there, production, and this guy was sitting next to me. He said, "Well, that was good." He said, "And you were very good." He said, "What did you think?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "I wasn't too keen on the song, you know, the theme song." And he went, "I wrote it."
Now the arts. Question 41. Which of these isn't a tenor? Pavarotti, Domingo and Carreras famously performed together as the three tenors, so the correct answer is B, Paul Robeson, who was in fact a bass. Question 42. In a theatre, where would you find the gods? Well, you'd find the gods in A, the auditorium, right at the very top. It's a grand name for the cheap seats. Question 43. Who's known for using preserved animal parts as art? The answer is B, Damien Hirst. This is Away from the Flock, one of the works that contributed to Hirst winning the Turner Prize in 1995. The art critic Brian Sewell said it was no more interesting than a stuffed pike over a pub door. Would you agree with that, Lawrence?
The secret with Damien Hirst stuff is not to confuse it with a buffet.
Thank you. Question 44. How many actual strings are there in a string quartet? There are 4 instruments in a string quartet, 2 violins, a viola and a cello, 4 strings per instrument, making 16 altogether. The answer is D. Don't think everybody got that here. Question 45. Who is the current poet laureate? We knew that, did we, plumbers? The answer is A, Andrew Motion, In case you're wondering, plumbers, what he looks like, here he is. He's had the job since 1999, and his most recent effort was a rap for Prince William's 21st birthday.
So plumbers, not going too well at the moment. Did you know the poet laureate? Who knew the better? You reckon?
It's getting better.
Getting better? Yeah. You've been languishing down the bottom for the past couple of leaderboards.
OK.
But it could get better.
It's going to get better for them.
Is it? OK,
oh, yes.
Very confident. And Dave, you know, we talked to you earlier on, you know, the man who goes out on his holidays and takes pictures of foreign plumbing. How are you doing?
I seem to be doing reasonably well.
Everyone, I stand behind you for the past 10 questions, and each one you've gone, oh, damn, I don't believe it. Are you doing all right, are you?
I'm doing all right.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Oh, it's great.
Well, let's see how you've done on the leaderboard now, plumbers. You said that obviously it's looking up. Let's have a look. Here we go. The leaderboard at this state of play. We have, down at the bottom, the estate agents at 66%. Ah, everybody loves that. Plumbers at 68%. So he said he was getting better, but unfortunately not that much better. Getting better, yeah, looking up. We've got cabin crew at 70%. We have got the football supporters at 73%, along with the domestic goddesses. They've slipped. And above them with the celebrities at 75%. And we have got the examiners at 80%. Oh, they're holding on to a mighty lead there. I think we ought to have a word with our estate agents. What's going on here? What's happening? You had all those facts.
I've got a theory,
on.
actually.
What is your theory?
We work such long hours that we don't have time for all this culture.
Do you agree with that?
I think it's true. They spend too much time on their backsides watching TV, reading books, magazines.
Just like an estate agent.
Exactly.
Just quick with the lines, but none of the facts.
No, none of the facts.
All right, Annie.
OK, we're on to section 4, Our World. That's geography, natural history and science. Question 46. Where is the bicep? Well, it's at point B in the arm. Come on, muscle man. That's very nice, isn't it? There's also actually a bicep in the thigh. Now, Darren, this is the moment I've been waiting for. Would you stand? Lovely.
Later, Anne, later.
Okay.
Later.
We'll do that later, but just show me where your bicep is. The other one. On your thigh. I don't think he knows where your bicep is.
It's by here, lovely.
You know what a hamstring is?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he knows where it is. I don't think he's got a clue. Question 47. Where is the dorsal fin? And the answer is D. Dorsal means relating to the back. And as anyone who's seen Jaws will know, it's the fin that sticks out of the water and scares you witless. OK, question 48. Which symbol means sunny intervals? The answer is A. What we normally expect from a British summer, except not this year. There you are, sunny intervals there. OK. Question 49. Which part of the spider weaves the web? The answer is D. Spiders produce the threads for their webs from special glands called spinnerets, and they are at the rear of the body. Question 50. Where is the patella? Well, it's at point C, otherwise known as the kneecap. It stops the knee bending the wrong way. Pretty vital, even if you're a skeleton. Football supporters, you surely knew that, didn't you? OK, still on our world, and this section covers science. Question 51. How many stars make up the plough? The answer is B, 7. Good. Here's what you get if you join the dots. There you are. Did you get that, Clarissa?
Yes, I did.
Now, people say it looks like a frying pan. I think it looks like a fly swatter, don't you?
Well, it's a funny shape for a frying pan, but I've got some very strange shaped frying pans after I've applied them to people's heads.
OK. Question 52. In a rainbow, which colour lies between yellow and blue? The answer is D. Green lies between yellow and blue. There we go. There it is. Question 53. At sea level, what temperature does water boil at? I hope the plumber's got this. The answer is B, 212 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the equivalent of 100 degrees centigrade. And shame if you answered A, plumbers. They're looking very confused, the plumbers. Question 54. What do light years measure? Well, they measure the distance light travels in a year, so the answer is B. OK? Question 55. What is deoxyribonucleic acid, better known as? The answer is A, DNA for short, the substance from which all our genes are made. And, of course, no two people have the same DNA or chemical code. How are the groups faring now?
Well, I'm just here with the estate agents, who, of course, are currently extremely bottom. And... there was a bit of a murmur went up there with patella, the kneecap, because I heard a couple of them say, "Oh God, I thought it was paella." So we've got mum and daughter here. We've got Hazel and Leslie Beattie from York. How I can say how you doing because you're right down the bottom. But obviously the rest of the team must be dragging you down. So, have you been swatting up for this?
Well, I don't know. I agree with my colleague. I think we work too hard. We have to focus on the job so much. I do drag myself away from work every Monday to go to the quiz.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
And Mum, what about you? Who's going to win out the pair of you?
Probably Hazel, but I'm actually sat in the wrong seat because I should be over there with the domestic goddesses.
Should you really? There's no point trying to jump out the bottom team and go one's at a third. I do actually... Oh, Hazel, I'm just getting some information now. Hazel got one more. You got one more than your mum, right, apparently, so you're one in the lead. I do actually want to... Sorry, team, just scoot across the studio here, because there was one question in there, which was, where does green come in the rainbow? At the beginning of the programme, we were talking about acronyms, and you were very good at acronyms. Now, did you learn at school the acronym for that?
No.
Richard, I learned Richard of York gave battle in vain.
No, I just sang it to myself. Red and yellow and green.
Very good. Football supporters, we'll look to see how you do on our leaderboard in a moment and whether or not that's helped at all.
He's a wonderful... I think he's a Watford supporter, isn't he?
You're a Watford supporter?
Oh, yeah. All my life.
Always alive.
Now, 5 geography questions. Question 56. Which is the Turkish flag? The answer is D. It represents the North Star and the moon, images of hope against a blood-red background. in memory of a battle waged against the Greeks in the 1920s. And anyone watching the matches tonight will have known that A is the Macedonian flag, then B is the Hong Kong flag, and C is the Iraqi flag. Question 57. Which city here doesn't have a public underground railway system? The answer B. The photos are of Moscow A, Amsterdam B, London C, New York D. All have public underground railway systems apart from B, Amsterdam, where they much prefer trams, boats and bicycles. Question 58. Which of these is the home of the European Parliament? Well, A is the Welsh Assembly, C is the Irish Parliament, D is the Reichstag, seat of the German federal government. So the answer is B. It's the European Parliament in Strasbourg. Question 59. Concentrate, please. Which is the Dutch national airline? The four tail fins are A, Qantas, B, KLM, C, EasyJet, and D, Olympic. KLM is the Dutch national airline, so the answer is B, isn't it, cabin crew? Question 60. Which costume do you associate with Ireland? The Irish costume is A, the other costumes are B, Welsh, C, Spanish, D, Greek.
Did any of our cabin crew get the tail fin wrong? Come on. No, you all got that right. What's Johnny Rowe? What's the most stupid thing that any passenger has ever said to you?
Well, to be honest, you do get a corker nearly every flight you do, but one that does stand out quite a few years back. I was travelling back from Orlando, and I was serving this lady and her family some drinks. The question was, do you accept dollars? Not an out of the ordinary question, or so I thought, until she handed me some Disney dollars. I just sort of stood there thinking, oh, you've got to be kidding me, you know. And she was insistent they were legal tender. And I was like, well, no, madam, in Disneyland, yes, but unfortunately not on the airline. No.
And has anyone ever asked to sort of open a window or go out?
Or you do get it quite often, actually. And we're coming down the final approach for landing. And one of the passengers said, oh, why can't I see the runway? Well, madam, you're looking out the side window and we're coming, you know, it's...
You can go up front and have a look if you want to.
Yeah, it's on the pilot's lap.
And this is Sarah Spencer. What's the daftest thing anyone's ever said to you?
Well, it relates to your last comment, actually. I was in the back galley. We were mid-cruise, so 35,000 feet. And a lady comes into the back galley with her little boy and casually says to me, excuse me, could you open up the back door so my son can look out?
So, yeah, wrap up warm.
Exactly.
What's the temperature up there? About minus 60?
Minus 52, I think.
Minus 52.
Yeah.
And, Johnny, do you have celebrities on your...
no, I'm a bit of a budget airline, actually, I'm afraid, Phil, so... We don't get to carry many celebrities, don't do celebrities.
I've used budget airlines.
Oh, we haven't gone down.
No, Anne doesn't actually use budget airlines. Any of you do first class? Do any of you do the stuff up the front? Yeah, because I mean, you know, that's where you'll have met Anne. She's just like Terry Wogan. Terry Wogan says when he goes on a plane, he never turns right. That's very similar to Anne. Right, let's have a look at our leaderboard now. Let's see whether or not those last few questions have changed the results. At the bottom, the estate agent at 67%. We have our cabin crew at 70 with the plumbers. Not so good, cabin crew. OK, and above that, we've got our domestic goddesses on 73. They are actually slipping a little bit. Above them, we've got our celebrities on 74%. Sharing second place with the football supporters, which means that this current state of play in the lead, it's still the examiners on 80%. Dan.
There is only a point between the domestic goddesses and the football supporters, actually. You're still doing OK. We're on to the final 10 questions. It's a bit of a free-for-all potluck selection. Question 61. If you're suffering from halitosis, what have you got? Smelly feet, bad breath, sweaty hands, or indigestion? The answer is B. Halitosis is another word for bad breath. Question 62. Sorry. Question 62. What type of wine do Merlot grapes typically produce? The answer is D. Merlot is a red grape grown in the Bordeaux region of France and elsewhere across the world. Question 63. Which English county has the longest coastline? It's Cornwall, D, or... Yes, very pleased about that. Almost 435 miles of coastline. Question 64. What is 2003 in Roman numerals? The answer is B, because M stands for 1,000, so 2 M's make 2,000 and 3 single ones make up the 3. Question 65. If you're phobophobic, what do you have a fear of? The answer C, phobophobic, means a fear of fears. And women, incidentally, are apparently twice as likely as men to have phobias. Do we agree with that, domestic goddesses? No! Gillian Cherm, you've got an interesting fact on this, haven't you?
I do. It's the it's the word hippopotomonstроsis cryptdaliophobia, which means the fear of long words.
That's very impressive. How do you know that?
On the internet.
Oh, excellent. And I think actually quite a lot of guys are frightened of spiders, aren't they? Yes. Not just women. Thank you very much, Gillian. Very impressive. Question 66. Which language does the word ketchup come from? The answer is A, Malay. Thanks to the Malaysians for that fantastic contribution to world cookery. Question 67. In which of these countries do you drive on the right? Well, in India, South Africa and New Zealand, you drive as we do on the left. It's obviously a hangover from the empire. In China, should you be driving there, you need to drive on the right. Therefore, the answer is D. Question 68. What is the maximum term a British government is elected for? The answer is B, 5 years, although governments don't often hang on for that long. But the next election will have to be held by 2006. Question 69. What is the collective word for a group of owls? The answer is a parliament. A. Are they as wise as our MPs? They certainly look a lot sweeter in that picture. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, question 70. What is Machu Picchu? The answer is B. It means old peak. It's an ancient Inca city in the Peruvian mountains. It was sometimes called the lost city of the Incas, but it's now a huge tourist destination. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it for the... Well done. You have completed the National Quiz 2003. Now, Philip, I know you've taken the test. How did you get on?
I took it yesterday. It was marked by Colin, so we know that I didn't cheat. And although I'd got my own star sign wrong and the boiling point of water in degrees Fahrenheit, I got 62.
62 out of 70.
62 out of 70. But it has to be said, I didn't do very well in the IQ test, so...
No, but with 62 out of 70, Philip, you might get a job in television, do you think?
I don't think there's any future for me in that, I have to say, no. Thank you, Anne. Let's just give you the opportunity now. You never know, the ones who've been down at the bottom, the ones who've been at the top, could well have changed in that last group of questions, OK? So give yourselves one final round of applause. The examiners! The cabin crew! The football supporters! Our domestic goddesses!
What about talking to the celebrities?
Not forgetting our plumbers! And the estate agents!
OK, well, congratulations to everybody who's taken part. We now need you to add up your scores, and as we said at the beginning, it's 1 point for a correct answer, obviously nothing for a wrong answer. You'll get a score out of 70, and our expert Cooperman has worked out a way that you can get your rating, and he's going to explain that to us, aren't you, Cooperman?
Sure, Anne. Basically, we've worked out something which we called a quiz quotient, which is very much like an intelligence quotient that we've used before. And what this allows you to do is to compare your score against the national average that we got when we road tested the test. And the nice thing as well is that it corrects for age. So don't email me saying that no 16-year-old can possibly know the answer to such and such an item. That's already been taken care of. But anyway, if we just take Philip as an example, in a minute we'll see a table like this, and it will scroll. It will come up in 3 parts when you see it. Philip scored 62, and if you look down the first column, that's the red column, until you see your score, 62 in this example, and then look along until you see the age band into which the person falls.
Well, actually, he claims to be in the 30 to 59 age bracket. He won't tell us which end of that is. But that does make him quite good, doesn't it? Because he's scored 139.
Yes, he gets a quiz quotient of 139. Now, most people will get quiz quotients between about 85 and 115. That's a sort of normal range.
Oh, so he's well above average.
Well above average. If you get a quiz quotient of 130 above, that puts you in the top 2%.
Okay.
And if it's 138 or above, that puts you in the top 1% of the population.
And just explain the significance of the age bands to us.
Yes, we've used the age bands because people obviously learn more as they get older. So a very knowledgeable 15-year-old wouldn't know as many facts as a very knowledgeable 45-year-old, for example. So this takes account of all that.
And finally, just if you're under 14.
If you're under 14, basically use the 14 to 19 age bracket, but don't take the results too seriously because they will underestimate your true general
Just a rough guide if you're under
just
14.
A rough guide.
OK, Philip.
Right, let's have a look now. We've been waiting all evening. It is time for our results. Okay, here we go with our facts and figures about everyone who has been taking part. I can tell you that 86,300 people have taken the test so far online, which is an astonishing number. Of course, the test is still online. You can still play if you want to. And also, 28,000 people have texted. So thank you very much indeed to everyone who took part on the web this evening. Now then, we can tell you about how our country has done. We'll split you up. So let's see now how England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales did. We can see that Scotland and Wales got 111. We can see that England got 112. And also we have Northern Ireland with 112. England in the IQ test actually got the same score in the national IQ test. They got 112. Wales were bottom, actually, with 110. So there you go. Well done to them. That's 112 for England and Northern Ireland. So both top winners. Give yourselves a round of applause if you're watching there. Now then, remembering, of course, that your score is out of 70. It's translated into a quiz quotient, as we were saying. So that's why the numbers are higher now. Let's have a look at towns. So do cheer, teams, if your town comes up here. We can see that at the bottom. We've got Glasgow with 111, Londonderry with 111. Oh, look at this. Actually, these are very, very similar. Newcastle, Birmingham, Londonderry down the bottom. The score goes up for Leeds, Plymouth, Aberdeen and Manchester. Still 112. This really is a hugely average score. Aberystwyth of 113. For Bristol, for Southampton 114, which means that at the top with Brighton! It's Brighton at 115. Right, OK, how do you pick up your knowledge? Now, we've talked throughout the evening with a number of people in the studio. Domestic Goddesses, a lot saying that they're sort of watching the telly during the day. Nothing wrong with daytime telly. Massive amounts of information to be got from the daytime telly, as we well know. But, of course, we've also got books. We've also got the internet. A lady said that she got her... It was Gillian, I think, said she got her massive word from the internet. So let's have a look. TV, radio, books, newspapers, talking in the internet. Who gets what from where? The brainiest people, the people who got the most knowledge, actually get it from books. 117 was the quotient there. 113 for TV and radio, along with newspapers. Talking, the lowest. The lowest amount of knowledge passed from person to person, according to the people who played online, was actually talking. OK, right, let's move on. What impact your family has on what you know. Now, this is basically the amount of people that there are in your family, the amount of siblings. So if you're in a bigger family, does that mean you know more than if you're an only child? Well, we asked our people online if they could tell us that. So brothers and sisters, 4 or more, we've 109. We've 111 for the people with 3 or more in their family, that's siblings, 112 for 2, 115 for 1, and an only child, 110. So if we look there, we can see that one child in the family is the one with the greatest general knowledge, and the only childs have 110. Right, OK. The big one. We've been talking about this all evening. I know that Colin said that he thought that the men were going to do well here. Jane obviously disagreed with that. So this is the big one. Let's find out now who has come out on top in our national quiz test. The men or the women? And... there you go! It's the men at 114, females at 110, which means it's 5-0 to the men in all the tests we've done. Marvellous.
OK, and what's more... oh, never mind, next time. A massive 86,300 played online tonight. And I hope now I'm going to talk to the person who scored the highest taking the test on the web. It's George Alexander. He's from Bristol, and the amazing thing is he's only 13. And isn't that wonderful? His quiz quotient is 145. He got 64 questions out of 70 right. Are you there, George?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, you must be very pleased with yourself.
Yeah.
What did you find difficult?
Well, the stuff like, the questions that were like, well, I don't know.
Well, actually... Well, you almost got everything right. And, of course, because you're underage, that's only a rough guide, 145. Did you do better than anyone else in your family?
Well, I don't know about my mum, because she was in the front room. I don't know if she was doing it or not. But my brother said he got quite a lot, but not as much as me.
OK, is he younger than you or older than you?
He's my 20s.
Oh,
I'm a minute older than me.
Congratulations, George Alexander. You've done fantastically well. Well done.
That's obviously an incredibly bright family. Right, there's been a bit of friendly rivalry amongst our studio groups, as we know, throughout the evening, so let's put them out of their misery and tell them how they really did. Now, remember, the final score... the final scores have been adjusted for age. This is using Colin's quotient system. So our final leaderboard. Here we go. And we have, at the bottom, the estate agent with 109. The plumbers with 111. Next on that leaderboard, the final one, the cabin crew, Drew with the domestic goddesses at 115. Scores getting bigger now. The celebrities at 118. Not a bad score. Above them, who's won? The football supporters with 119, which means that our winning group are the examiners with 124. Well, examiners. So you really did. You led right from the word go.
I'm very pleased.
Yeah?
We're all very pleased,
So,
yes.
I mean, what is the secret here? Why do you think that you guys did so well? Is it because that you are constantly looking at papers, viewing papers?
I think we just got a general interest in all topics, so that's what we're trying to pick up all the time.
Yeah. You look thrilled.
I am.
I'm a little shocked, actually, I have to say. Right, now then, we have to find out who's the top person in the studio. Now, I can tell you that, in fact, 4 people got the highest quotient within the studio. One of them is over in our domestic goddesses. Now, someone's going to give you her name. The name of the... Sheila Trott. Where's Sheila Trott? Sheila Trott! Wow, Sheila! Well done, Sheila. Thank you. Congratulations to you. You are one of our 4 highest scorers in the studio. Why, Sheila? How have you done this? Where did you get your knowledge from?
Well, everywhere, and I like quizzes and I like information.
And you're reading newspapers and reading books and stuff like that? You got internet? Do you do the internet?
No, I don't do
any of that sort of stuff. And what do you think has been the secret? I mean, the domestic goddesses did very well this evening. Is it because you guys are constantly open to information? Do you think that's what it is? Yeah? Terrific. Well, it's been lovely having you in here. We've loved having you as our top player. But I have to say, there is one person in the studio who's actually beaten you. Now, the reason I say that is because although the quotient is the same, it's actually they got one more question right. So it was down to those sort of age groups and that quotient thing in the end. I can tell you, and I'm going to get that information as to where they are and who they are. That person is not in the domestic goddesses. That person is not in the plumbers. Surprise, surprise. That person is not in the estate agents. It's also not in the football supporters. So look at this lot running now, hunting in packs now, this camera crew. So they're in between the cabin crew and the examiners. Which one are they in? Someone is the highest person. In here, in here, in here, in here! They're in the examiners! Where is the trophy? Let me have a name here. Who is the person? It is... Steve Vickers! He's up the other end. Steve Vickers, you are our winner by one question. Well done. Congratulations. Round of applause for Steve. Very well done.
OK, we've still got one more trophy to go to our brightest celebrity. Would you all like your scores very quickly? You
Yes.
sure about that, Lawrence? Leslie, you got 103. Ed, 104. Darren, you gorgeous thing, you got 107. That was fantastic,
Oh, well
Darren.
done.
Sally, 121. Josie, 126. Clarissa, 130. And Lawrence, who was so not wanting to know what he got, you are the tops with 132. Good. 59 answers right out of 70. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's going to make a lovely lamp base.
Did we enjoy ourselves?
We did. Yeah.
Great.
Marvellous.
You've been great sports.
Well done, celebrities. Absolutely fabulous. Colin, what does that tell us? So you said at the beginning that the plumbers and the examiners would do well. You got the examiners right, but you sort of got the plumbers a bit wrong.
Yes,
there.
I thought the plumbers would because of the male advantage, and I thought the examiners would because they know how to cheat, basically.
Oh, look at that. Now you've got right at the very end and they've turned on you.
Exactly.
And Jane, any surprises for you?
Yeah, I'm disappointed that the women didn't do better overall. I really thought tonight might be ladies' night.
Every national quiz
there
we've
you
done,
are.
the men have come out on top.
I know, gutted.
If you didn't get a brilliant score this evening, then you don't go away despondent.
Absolutely not, because all sorts of things can make your score lower than it should have been. You know, you may not have been concentrating, or you may have had a glass of wine or something like that. So, and even if you didn't do all that well, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. There's lots of other things you're going to be brilliant at, so don't feel negative about it.
You've been brilliant tonight. Thank you both very much indeed.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Our experts.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. We've had a fantastic time here in the studio. I hope everyone watching has enjoyed themselves, including the expats living in Europe who've emailed to tell us they've been taking part tonight. Is that
Yes,
good?
hello to everyone who's taken part, and thank you very much. Don't forget, if you want to check your results, the lookup table is available on CFAX page 620, and it's also on our website at bbc.co.uk/testthenation. Now, if you came in late and you want to take the test, then don't worry. As I've said throughout the programme, it will stay online for the next few weeks.
Thank you all for taking part, particularly the estate agents. They came don't mind. You know, and what's been fantastic is making this a truly national event, and with any luck it's been lots of fun. You've brushed off the cobwebs from the summer and maybe even learnt a bit. And let's begin by giving a big hand to our studio groups, the estate agents. The plumbers. The domestic goddesses. The football supporters. The cabin crew. The examiners. And not least our celebrities.
Well done, celebrities. Testination will be back at the end of the year, testing just how much you remember about 2003. So you need to start swatting now, because as we've seen, every bit of knowledge helps.
Finally, thank you all for helping us yet again to make television history, and from the team that brings you Test the Nation, a very, very good night.
Good night.